NBA trade deadline closed with a flurry today. What were the Boston Celtics thinking by trading Kendrick Perkins? Have the Oklahoma City Thunder now moved to the top of the Western Conference? And who are the other winners in the Eastern and Western Conference after today's trade deadline? Jeff, the Boston Celtics moved Kendrick Perkins, won an NBA title with him. What's behind that?
That's a great question, Johnny. If we're looking at it, the Boston Celtics are probably thinking a couple things. And come June, President of Basketball Operations, Danny Ainge, is either going to be a hero in Boston or he's going to be a big-time GOAT. The Boston Celtics acquired Jeff Green from the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I think the Celtics like his versatility from the wing. He can score a little bit. He can play a little bit of defense on the wing. So that end of it, they're fine. What they really lose in Kendrick Perkins is a strong interior defender, someone who can go head-to-head, toe-to-toe with Dwight Howard, someone who, when you get to maybe the NBA Finals, when you're going against Andrew Bynum and Pau Gasol, and even to a lesser extent Lamar Odom, Kendrick Perkins can handle those guys. He's a great interior defender. And I think the Celtics really took a gamble on this one. But the one thing that sticks out is that Kendrick Perkins' contract expires after this season, and I wonder if the Celtics weren't trying to get something for him now rather than losing him for nothing. With that said, Johnny, the Celtics send a couple pieces to the Oklahoma City. How did they make out?
I think the Oklahoma City Thunder made out wonderfully. They had to make a deal like this. Their biggest weakness is on the interior. They're a really good defensive team, even though at times this year they've been kind of spotty. But what they've lacked is muscle and size inside. They have mostly finesse guys. They had Kristich, who they moved to the Celtics. He wasn't a real guy who was a low post presence. Serge Ibaka is a great athletic guy, but he's not a banger. Kendrick Perkins is. He's a rebounder. He can shot block. He can do all the dirty work that doesn't show up in the stat sheet. And that's what the Oklahoma City Thunder needed inside. And here's the other thing. They also get Nazr Muhammad from the Charlotte Bobcats in a separate deal. So they add two guys, 6'11". Nazr Muhammad isn't as good as Perkins,
right,
but Andrew Bynum 7 foot tall, Pau Gasol 7 foot tall for the LA Lakers. They're going to need that size to compete.
Absolutely. When we look at other teams in the Western Conference, Johnny, who are some teams who maybe did something that surprised you or can help them in the long run, or teams that, just didn't do much of anything today?
I mean, the Memphis Grizzlies, I think, are the team at the bottom of the playoff picture that may have made the most significant addition, bringing Shane Battier. They add defense to a team that's been improving defensively. But at the same time, they got rid of Hasheem Thabeet, who wasn't getting much burn in Memphis anyway.
Right.
The Phoenix Suns get Aaron Brooks. He's a good addition. I think he's going to fit in that offensive style and that system really well. I was kind of surprised the Golden State Warriors, who were kind of on the cusp, didn't make any moves with trying to get a low post guy today. But those are the primary teams I look at. What about you in the East? What do you see?
Right at the top of the Eastern Conference, 3 of the 4 top teams, when you look at Miami Heat, the Chicago Bulls, and the Orlando Magic, they did nothing today, Johnny. And I'm not saying that they weren't looking to do anything, but really what it came down to is those teams didn't want to give away too much for what they have. When you look at a couple other teams, Charlotte, Washington, and let's not forget Cleveland, they shed some salary and they got draft picks for the future.
The same could be said for the Mavericks and the Spurs and the LA Lakers at the top. They didn't make any moves, preferring to stay pat, and we'll see if it pays off in the postseason. Thanks for stopping by for a special edition of 3.0.